And we're back, guys. Welcome to Tennis After Dark. I'm your host, Good Energy. We're going to cover the Strasbourg Open clay tournament, getting ready for the French Open. This is a good draw. I like it. Svitolina's a defending champion here. And before we get into the draw, we're going to cover some matches tonight as well. Thank you guys for the love and support. Like the video, hit the super thing, show some love. Where are you checking in from? We're just going to talk about Coco really quick. We know this is a big Coco channel. We know a lot of people love Coco. She's by far the most popular tennis player in the world. We know that. But again, along with her success, she gets a lot of people that don't really follow tennis, right? And I call them casual tennis fans because they don't really know a lot about Coco, right? They just think she just came out of nowhere, and they don't understand why I say Coco Gauff, the future of tennis. That's because a lot of these people don't really know how much Coco's done. All these players on tour, they know Coco. She's a big deal, guys. From age 13 to age 19, there is no player on tour that's accomplished what she's accomplished. And people don't realize that. Okay? You have to compare apples with apples. You can't compare oranges and apples and bananas. Okay? You can't compare ladies that are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years older than her. Compare the body of work. Age 13 to 19, no one has done what Coco has done. At age 13 years old, she was playing grade A tournaments, winning the Orange Bowl. Okay? She became the youngest junior in history to become number one. Okay, guys? The youngest in history to become number one. Okay, guys? She became the youngest, one of the youngest, to make the French Open final, where she won it. And Iga Swiatek said she was watching Coco win it. Coco Gauff, one of the youngest juniors ever to win the French Open. Coco Gauff, the youngest junior ever to make a U.S. Open junior final. Okay, guys. Serena Williams said, I was never that good at 15. Coco was a big deal as a junior. You guys don't understand. She won her first main tour title at 15. No one in this current top 10 has accomplished what she's accomplished from age 13 to 19. As a professional on the main tour, no one in this top 10 has accomplished what she's accomplished as a teenager. What do you guys not understand? Stop comparing apples with oranges. You sound like a hater. You sound like a hater. You can't compare women that are older to someone that's younger. It's like comparing Mira to freaking Coco. You would never compare Mira to Coco. You can't do it. So compare the body of work. None of these ladies in the top 10, no one on tour has accomplished what she's accomplished from age 13 to 19. She was beating a lot of your household names as a junior. These players know who Coco is, which is why when they play her, they really get up to play her now, right? She's going to bring out your best. That's what great players do. But you guys got to understand, you can't compare apples with oranges. You're comparing players that have played on tour longer, that have more matches. Is not. At the end of the day, guys, when, let's just say 20 years from now, we're all going to look back and we're going to compare how many Grand Slams a player won. No one's really going to care about the records. No one's really going to care about how many championships they won. They're really going to look at the Grand Slams. That's what it's all going to come down to. And if we look at the longevity, the upside, I'm going to tell you, Coco's going to retire with more Grand Slams than all of these ladies that are currently on the tour right now. Where I'm telling you, her upside is going. Everything I've said when it comes to all of these players has all come true. I said Rebecca is going to be amazing. I said Iga is going to be amazing. And I've been telling you for a long time, Coco's going to be the future of tennis. You guys don't understand her athletic ability. Now, I see how by far she's the most athletic player on tour, by far. Now, I'm not gonna say some things on record because I know what's going on here. Okay, I can look and see how insanely athletic Coco is more than anyone on tour. It's not even close. I know what's going on, and sooner or later, everyone else is gonna know what's going on. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when it's all said and done, Coco's gonna have more Grand Slams because we're gonna get to a point where Coco, she's gonna come into her body, she's gonna come into her form, everything. The stars are going to align, and she's gonna take over the tennis world. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you guys, you can't teach athletic ability, but once you got it, you can improve on it and get better. And I'm telling you guys, there's gonna be years where Coco, she's gonna do her best, her best, impersonation of the Serena Slam, where she's going to start things off at the Australian Open. She's going to go to the French Open. She's going to win Wimbledon. She's going to put up the U.S. Open hardware. I'm telling you guys, watch out. She's going to have several years where she's winning 2, 3, maybe even 4 slams. And those slams are going to start adding up very quickly. And I'm telling you, it's going to be once she hits around 21, 22, 23, gets that serve down pack, she's going to run off 3 plus slams a year. We're talking about in a span of 3 to 5 years, she's going to end up with double digit slams. And next thing you know, she's in her mid 20s approaching Serena. I'm telling you guys, this younger generation that's coming up, they're not going to be on Coco's level. She's improving. The generation that she's competing with right now, they're going to get older. Sabalenka's going to move up. Elena Rybakina is a sweetheart. She's one of the classiest players you ever meet. I don't think her body's going to hold up, guys. If she can't hang now, that's not going to improve when she gets older. And I love her dearly, okay, as a player. That's not just going to improve. As you get older, your body starts to deteriorate, okay? And if you have a herky jerky, explosive type of style, that's not longevity, okay? With muscle memory, I'm telling you guys how this stuff works, okay? You have to master other aspects of your game. Right now, we're seeing Coco try to do that. She's trying to focus on the serve, right? Improve the serve speed. She wants to take a lot of pressure off of her defense and win a lot easier points. So she's working on it now. Me personally, I would probably, me personally, when I try to incorporate a new move to my game or a new style or a new something, I think it's taken a long time personally. I think that, and look, not every coach is going to be for you, right? And players have to understand that. People have to understand that. Not every coach is for you. I think that what I would do if I would, her father or coaching her or one of her advisors or manager, I would definitely start to work on bringing in some type of mechanics coach because Coco has the power. I do notice that she has slimmed down a bit. When she came into the season, she was very strong. I'm not sure if she felt, and she went on the 10-match win streak when she was very strong and powerful, and she was just bullying these chicks. She was overpowering them. She has lost some of that muscle. So I don't know if that could have been just, because when you're not competing in season, going from city to city and tour to tour, it's possible that you're working out more, you're eating more calories, you're focusing on your body more. Once you start to compete and you're moving more and playing more, you will kind of resort back to a natural weight that you're comfortable with. So I think that's what we saw because she's not as big and strong as she was when she entered the season. She was diesel. Let's just go watch it. I may post them, or just go watch the Australian Open videos, and then when she won the champ in the Auckland. So go watch those videos. But I do think that I think she kind of resorted to a natural way that she's comfortable with, and will she bulk up more again? Possibly, but I do think that because she wasn't struggling as much when she had the power early on in the season with the double faults. But I do think bring in a mechanics coach, work on that form, and they're going to have to be on the same page with Brad, because what Brad is teaching, it seems like it's a little too tough. Like what is, I mean, even just take a look at this year so far. I mean, 5 months, that's a long time, because in between matches and days, she's practicing it. I think that's a long time to get it. I think that a mechanics coach is definitely something she needs to bring in, and possibly take a little bit more, take some speed off of the serve, and see how it, stop trying to go so big. Maybe work on the placement a little bit more, because here's the thing: the faults are killing her. She was up 40 love against Iga. We're down to the business end of the set. You hold, it's 5-4. Now you get aggressive. Ika starts getting nervous. Any player on tour, when they're facing, when they have to hold to stay in a set or a match, they start to get a little nervous. I've seen every player do it. They all get nervous in those situations. When you have to serve to stay in a match, it gets pressuresome. I've seen so many matches where the better player, they're up 30 love, they have a couple bad serves. Next thing you know, it's 30-30. They're serving to stay in the match. They make a mistake. They feel a little bit of pressure. Now it's 30-40. They double fault or fault on the first serve. They barely get the second serve in just so they don't fault or net, and their opponent tees off and wins the match. Just like that. The better player loses because they got nervous. So it happens to the best of them. You got thousands of fans watching. Everyone feels pressure, guys. No one's exempt from that. So, but I do think that maybe try taking a little bit off the serve and see how it works, because it's putting her behind to where she has to overplay on the defense. But the reality here is this: let's factor in not as many double faults. Much more cleaner serve, better placement. She's not in these positions. She's going to start cleaning up, guys. This level of ladies, this generation, the Sacharies, the Pagulas, the Sabalenkas, all these ladies, they're getting in their upper 20s. Female athletes, and this is just fact, guys. The female body's not made for this grueling type of sport. Tennis is a grueling sport. Not only is it not only is it a very physical sport, it's a very mental sport. These ladies, they're going to want to start having children, and et cetera, et cetera. Look at Osaka. As great as she is, it's tough to come back. And I think Queenwin said it best. It's tough to come back from having a baby, right? And I think that you're going to see this older generation, they're going to start to phase out. And Coco's going to have several years where she's winning a lot of championships, you know? And a lot of people say, well, what about Iga? Iga's going to get older as well. Iga's style is very, very aggressive and grueling. That style is not going to hold up, guys. That's not a longevity type of style. It's not. Being aggressive, winning, once you get older in your older 20s, that style is not going to be winning 50 matches a year. It's just not. You take a look at Egan. And this is just honest criticism. This is honest criticism. It's feedback. It's truth. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth, but the truth of the matter is we're looking at upside, right? This is like a stock. You buy a stock with the potential of return to pay dividends in the future. Not looking at now, you're looking at the upside of the business or the stock. These players are investments, right? Endorsements, different companies sponsor them because of the upside they can bring to the company. If we're looking at stocks, Iga's right now. But when we're talking about the future, that's aggressive style is not going to hold up, because when I look at Iga, I look at someone that is gifted, but I look at someone that really works to get to that level. Iga didn't come on the scene wowing people like that. She didn't. She worked on that game. That's a lot of grueling practice in the gym. That's a lot of improvements to her physical ability. She had a very bad foot injury she had to overcome. Her career was almost over. And anyone that's ever had a serious injury, if you had to work and rehab through that injury, what happens is when you come back from that injury, you're going to be the best you've ever been. a lot of people, their game declined because they don't maintain that level. Iga's maintained it. For her to keep this streak on, you guys think this is easy. She's working really hard. She's going to have to keep that level through her 20s. And I see someone that already gets tired now. Iga holds up her opponents a lot. And the reality is, these players don't want to smoke. They're not going to bring that up. But they, during that run a couple years ago, they were sick of this. People were talking about it. There's a lot of these stories, and it kind of hit, now that there's a lot more money involved, they're not really talking about it, but it still goes on. I watch the matches. So I do think that when we're talking about upside, these players are going to start to slow down. So that's something you want. Coco's 20, and she just turned 20. That's scary. That's very scary. So again, for the haters that don't realize, age 13 to 19, she's had a better career than any of these ladies on tour and in the top 10. And for people to not acknowledge that, it's almost sickening. It's like there's no way you're a tennis fan. There's no way you're an honest person. And there's no way you can deny it. It's like at some point you have to compare apples with apples. Okay? We look at the teenage years. You can't compare Anthony Edwards to Michael Jordan. You know, you can't, because he's playing his career now. You can't compare players that are younger to older players. You have to compare their body of work within a given time frame. So when we're talking about Coco, compare the teenage years. No one has the records he has, or the championships, or the accomplishments, or the titles. They don't, right? And that's with her being stacked against a crazy draw. She was 15. She had to go and take that title from Elina Svitolina, right? Look how many times these elite stars have been put in her draw. Constantly. Osaka's, the Sloane Stephens, the Igas, the Simona Halep's, the Serena Williams, they've all been in Coco's draw. She's been constantly put up against the toughest players because she's been so big time. It's going to draw eyes. Venus Williams, all of these players have been put in her draw because it's going to draw eyes on the sport. It's going to generate revenue. She's had to literally go against the odds her entire career, right? How many times has she been put against Iga? That's crazy, you know? But nonetheless, stop being a hater. And this is what we do on this channel. We give players their flowers while they're alive, right? And for the people that have just come to the channel and you guys want to argue stuff, we're not even on the same page when it comes to tennis IQ. Because you don't even know none of this stuff, but you're arguing stuff. No one in the top 10 has accomplished what Coco has from 13 to 19. Okay? No one. We're not even comparing apples to apples. So if you can't acknowledge that, then you got to chill, because you can't compare what's been done on the main tour when we're talking about older players. But since you want to go there, we can go there. Coco owns the head-to-head against Rybakina and Sabalenka, and she's younger than them. Okay, their time on tour between that age period, practically, I broke down the numbers. I'm not going to do it again. You go find the video. Wins and losses practically identical. Championships practically identical. The advantage: Coco's made more WTA finals and has more records. What are we talking about here, guys? What are we talking about? You're listening to these ridiculous media reports that are just trying to disclude and not include what she's done over the course of her career. And it's a joke. Okay, it's a joke. When you talk about a player, you talk about their career. Okay? But when you're focusing on older players, compare a given body of work. But in the case of Sabalenka and Rybakina, look, compare that time frame, and it's practically identical. So it is what it is. Now we'll move on to it. Look, just tennis talk, baby. Let's get going here. Drop some love, hit the super thanks, and let's get to this draw. Strasbourg. Svitolina is a champion here. Let's take a look at the seeds. So we have a wild card, and this is one thing I don't like. I think if you're a defending champion, you should be the number one seed, right? Why? Because I think if the draw is made with integrity, I think if you're the number one seed, and we've seen that's not the case, right? Sabalenka in that Australian Open championship run was a joke. I mean, her first three matches were a joke. A Barbara Krejcikova not informed coming off of injury was that her draw was a joke, guys. Coco was the only tough match she had, and she was down 6-5, 30 love. Coco shanked one. She fell down. That was the worst turn of events I've ever seen. And again, that's pressure. As you mature mentally and physically, you get experience. Experience is confidence. But when you're young, you you don't necessarily have that. It takes time to build that. We've seen a young Iga as a teenager crying and emotional. I've talked about that. I've showed you the videos. I covered the matches. She used to cry a lot in matches. That mental coach, why do you think she got a mental coach? Because it was necessary. And we're talking, I think, did Coco hire a mental coach? I think I heard talks of her hiring one. I think they all need one, because tennis nowadays, I don't know if you guys are aware, and I try not to get into it, but what happens, you have a lot of trolls, they come and they want to talk trash. I'm not even responding. If you're trolling, like if you're saying something that's so ridiculous, I'm just not even responding to it. Like, if you're saying stuff like you don't think Coco's the future, I'm not even responding to that anymore. Because the reality here is based on the last based on the last what 10 to 12 months, you can't argue that many people have had a better season than her, right? I mean, look at the slam winners. There's the last 12 months on season. I mean, we've had Sabalenka win the Australian Open once. We've had Iga win the French Open. Marketa won Wimbledon. Coco won the U.S. Open. I mean, she's had two double-digit win streaks, right? She's won several tournaments. There's only a handful of players that you can even argue are the future, but the reality is they're all in their mid-20s. What are we talking about here? All right, guys. Look, I can go on and on. You guys don't realize that? I talk for 10 hours straight. But it's interesting. You have to love tennis. If you don't love tennis, then look, you wouldn't be listening to me. So I appreciate you guys for the love and support. Thanks for listening. I think if you win a championship, you should be the number one seed because you should have like what is the point of being the champion? You should be the number one seed, and you should, I think, just be given an easier draw because you're the champion. I don't like to see a wild card inserted as a number one seed. That I don't like. I think it's disrespectful to the champion. So if the draw is made how it's supposed to, Marqueta's going to be the number one seed on a wild card, and she's going to have an easier first round matchup than the champion Svitolina, who's, well, I think Svitolina's like the seventh seed, right? I don't like to see a wild card. Let's say Iga wanted to come play this tournament. She's going to be the number one seed on the wild card. I don't really like that. So Beatrice Haddad, the number two seed. Marqueta's got good variety. I like Marqueta's game. She made the Roland Garros Championship where she lost to Ashley Barty. A lot of people forget that. She moves well on clay, and her game is good on clay or grass. Beatrice Haddad, I talk about how she plays well inside the baseline. She's very strong. She's physical, and she's a baseline bully. She's a brick wall. Okay, she doesn't let much get past her. The three seed Danielle Collins, one of the hottest players on tour, guys. She's won 19 of her last 21 matches. Sabalenka is the only player to beat her, and a lot of people, she's moves well on clay, and she talked about how there are clay courts in the States, and she does feel comfortable playing on clay. Madison Keys got one of the best kick serves on clay, very powerful. I love her serve and her forehand. And look, guys, that's your Americans: Coco, Pegula, Collins, and Keys. The only way Emma can really take that fourth seed is she's gonna have to win the French Open. She's in this tournament too. She's gonna have to win this tournament to get 500 points. Hope Madison's eliminated the first round, and then go deep in French Open. It's a lot that needs to happen. And the same with Sloane. Sloane would have to win this tournament and the French Open to slide in that fourth spot. I just, I don't know. That's a lot that needs to happen. But not going to say it's not possible, but a lot needs to happen. I think Madison's got it locked. Ludmilla. I want to see her work on that forehand, but nonetheless, guys, I think the drop shot, her drop shot's a weapon. But more her serve. She faults a lot, and again, I don't. I think as the match wears on, I think she has some type of inflammation in her knee, where you could just see her serve starts to deteriorate as she has to get more lift and while getting fatigued during the match. But I do like her game. I'm a fan. This is why players like Elena Rybakina and Yulia Putintseva went to Kazakhstan because of players like Ludmilla. And Iga said it best. Yeah, I know her from juniors. I don't necessarily know her, but yeah, I remember her from juniors. That's my Iga's voice. You like that? Ekaterina. I mean, again, look, tennis is a very expensive sport. Ekaterina, she's had issues financially. A lot of these players have. And this is why I think the WTA, they need to take a $10 million sum, put it aside, and if you finish the season within the top 100, then you deserve a $100,000 bonus. We all know the top 10 players. Iga, she's got several Porsches. Coco's the highest paid female player in the world. They're not going to need it. But you know what? That's money that they can pay their coaches a bonus. And the players that are, towards the bottom of the top 100, that can be a career saver, right? They'll have money to pay their coaches. They'll have money they can put aside for their personal expenses. But guys, we got to do better here, okay? And look, I know there's everyday workers like teachers and police and firemen that deserve raises and bonuses, but we have local politicians that can help improve that. No one's speaking up for these ladies, okay? There's a lot of these ladies that are household names that have had financial difficulty. And this, look, if you don't have the right connections and you can't get a sponsor, and even if you do get a sponsor, they want their money back. They need to be able to make that money back from you. And Ekaterina, I think, is an amazing, beautiful woman. And I mean, she's probably good now, but I'm talking about in the past. Uh, Good, powerful forehand, powerful serve. I talk all the time, though. I think she misses the worst out of all the players inside the top 30, top 20. That forehand, if you're sitting near that baseline, you better bring your helmet and your shoulder pads because you might get hit with the ball. She misses bad. If you can mix it up short, deep, if you have the range to play with her and get her moving, you can get her to make mistakes. But nonetheless, she's your number 6 seed. And I do like her game. She's powerful. Svitolina is just a defensive powerhouse, guy. She's got good range. She's a good ball striker. And defensive players, the difference between defensive players and, players that are more offensive oriented is defensive players, they're good shot makers. They get balls back, they have good stamina, and they move well on clay. Svitolina has all those things. And don't forget, guys, your runner-up in Rome, Svitolina pushed her to the limit. She had 3 match points. She choked on a drop shot because she thought she heard footsteps and Sabalenka was nowhere near. She wouldn't have been able to return it. She's got a chance to repeat here. The way she played against Sabalenka, she beats anyone in this tournament. And then Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, who a lot of people don't remember, but she, before Coco passed her, she actually had one of the records for the youngest players to be number one in juniors. Coco passed another record that Coco passed. Guys, Coco's got all the records. I did a video one time where I just named some of her records and I ran out of breath. Okay? Because she's freaking big time. Who we got else? We got a qualifier. Erica Andreeva, she's in good form, guys. She came through qualifiers. I like Andreeva's, I like her power for a younger player. She's got good power. I just want to see her focus on her faults. I think she faults at the worst time, and I wanted her to take it easy on herself. I think she's too emotional. She screams, slamming rackets, and you guys wonder where Mira gets this stuff from. Okay, she's watching her big sister act like a maniac on the court. That's where Mira gets it from. The younger siblings learn from their bigger siblings. Erica Andreeva she's been a maniac on the court, slamming her rackets, yelling and screaming, and that's why Mira's out of control. That's true, but that's a joke. Fiona Farah, bonjour, comment allez-vous? I like Farrell. I mean, too bad she couldn't beat Iga in that championship run where Iga was unseeded. I told you guys Iga would win that anyway. So Clara Buell, the French woman. We saw a great match with her and Svitolina last time. That was great. Diane Perry, the French woman. I mean, that's another player Coco beat during the Orange Bowl run. Gave her 2 bagels. Diane Perry's freaking awesome on clay, guys. Buxa, she's got a tough match against Mag. No, she's not playing Magdalena, is she? No, she's playing. We'll get to it. But Buxa, good clay player, good range. Magdalena, good variety. And what about Iga's former doubles partner as a junior? She recently lost to was it Olga Denlovic? No, it wasn't Olga. Who'd she lose to? I can't. You know, I had a numeric lock on that. I can't. Who did she play? It'll come back to me. But Magdalena, guys, who she's got good variety. I do want to see Magdalena. I think she's getting tired a lot lately. What do you guys think? She's getting a lot tired, and I don't necessarily like that. I don't know, but she is getting older. I think she's like 33 years old now, or something like that. 33. But I think her stamina's starting to decline. She's got a tough match coming up against. I think she's playing Sorana Cirstea. That's going to be a really, really good match. I can't wait to see that. But nonetheless, let's get into it, guys. We got some Leylah Fernandez. She took out Potapova. That was a good match. I was going to do a video on that. Emma Navarro's here. She's going to take on Elise Cornet. That's going to be a good match. I think we're going to cover that here. Let's start things off with picks. Okay, so we have Wong taking on Anna Kalinskaya. Now, Anna's never lost to Wong. But here's the thing. I don't think Anna's looked necessarily good. And I think this could be a match here where we see an upset. I do think that I think Wong's been playing really, really good. And Anna Kalinskaya, I don't know, she seemed uninterested lately. You know, she's only 2-3 on clay this season. And this is a matchup here where I think Wong's going to win a set. Wong has a very good backhand, and if she finds that range, I could see Anna just scrambling. I like Wong to win a set as a 2-1 underdog. Sorana Cirstea, she's taking on Magdalena, who these ladies have played a total of 5 times. And I like Sorana in this matchup. I think Sorana's going to come through. I think it's going to be a tough match, though. But I think Sorana's going to win the first set, and I think Sorana's going to win the match. That's a pick. Now, they've had some really interesting battles lately. In terms of clay, they've only played once on clay. That came in Strasbourg a couple of years ago, where Sorana won that. Now, they played in Cleveland a couple of years ago, where it was a really, really good draw in that Cleveland tournament. I want to say Para and who did Para make the championship? I want to say that I think Ludmilla won that title in 22 in Cleveland. I could be wrong, but nonetheless, Lynette did win the last time they played, but they only played once on clay, and Sorana won that match. I do like Sorana to win the first set, and I like Sorana to win the match. Barbora Krejcikova, she's taking on Ludmilla. I don't know where Barbora is at mentally, right? She's had a rough season full of injuries. At least Ludmilla is active, and this head-to-head is non-existent. They've never played, but Ludmilla, I think her serve, or actually, I think they did play in juniors, to be honest with you. They did play in juniors. No, I think they played, no, it says they never played, but I do remember they played in Stuttgart because Barbara won that on clay. But I think this time around, I think Ludmilla has the opportunity. They played this year as well in Abu Dhabi. I think Ludmilla's going to win a set as the underdog. I like Ludmilla to win a set. I like her serve and her power. Barbora struggles against players with power, especially when she's not in form, and I don't think she's in form now. I'll take Ludmilla as the underdog to win a set. Buxa and Ekaterina. Buxa, I've been telling you all the time, she's got to bulk up a little bit. When she plays these tougher opponents, her style just doesn't work. She's been playing a lot of ITF matches. She's now, I think, permanently transition to the main tour, which is good. But Ekaterina is a whole different animal. But Buxa, if she can get balls back, I say it all the time, get balls back against Ekaterina, she's going to start missing badly. She misses badly. She's too strong. She's like a Camilla Giorgi, just a little bit stronger and not as aggressive. But then again, she is aggressive. Bukes has been playing well on clay this year, guys. She's having a losing season overall, but on clay, she's winning matches. Ekaterina has yet to win a match on clay this year. I don't know what's up. She's lost 5 in a row. We started to lose. Tough competition, though. Danielle Collins, Taylor Townsend, Anja Boer, Aspen Kruger, who's coming the ranks. She's playing good with Sloane Stephens in doubles. And she lost to Sasnovich. Over the course of her last 5 matches, she's only won 1 set. While Buxa won 2 in a row, she's come through qualifiers. She's took out Buxa. Come on, guys. I'm sorry, not Buxa. Buxa took out Buskova. I think she wins a set here as a 2-1 underdog. I like Christina Buxa to win a set. That's the pick there. She's coached by her father. She gets balls back. She's a classy woman. You never see her sweat. She's mentally tough. She's like a Rebecca. She never gets frustrated. Andreva and Farrell. Now, Farrell is by far the much more experienced clay player. She could be a sleeper here. The thing with Farrell is she just disappoints, guys. She does. But she is having a really good clay season, and I'm really proud to see that because I've been a huge fan of hers. She's just a simple type of girl, guys. You know, no fancy outfits, just shorts and a t-shirt, and she comes to ball. I like that attitude. But despite her having a winning season, she hasn't done well on clay. Erica's balling. She's 22-13 on the year. And we've seen Andreva come through qualifiers. She took out Elsa Jacquemont, who's got a very fast serve, a very fast ball. And by the way, and she took out Chloe Paquette. The 2 French women that I said I want to see get wild cards, they got them. Actually, all of them. That entire French lineup that I said would get wild cards, got them. How right am I, guys? How much of a genius am I? I said Elise would get one. I said I want to see Chloe Paquette get one. I said I want to see Elsa Jacquemont get one, right? All got them. They all got them, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm happy that entire French lineup, all of them got the wild cards. Now, Farrell, she had a tough match last time out against Emma Navarro. She did lose to Christina. She did beat Buxa, which was a good win. But this is a match here where I'm going to take Erica Andreva to win. It might go 3 and it might be sloppy. But as long as she doesn't get too hard on herself, I think she'll beat Fiona Farrell. So I like Erica Andreva to win. Yulia Putintseva from Kazakhstan. She's going to be at the Olympics. That's going to be great. Now, Yulia, here's the thing about Yulia. Actually, even Katerina. Both of these ladies they're unstable. They're emotional. We should have an over-under. How many racket slams are going to happen in this match? I would say over 2.5. I'd say at least 3. Here's the thing. This is the type of matchup that can go either way, but I'm going to take Putintseva. I think her short ball is going to be the difference maker. Her drop shot is very, very effective. The last time I saw her beat Sloane, she used that drop shot to a T. And by the way, she's having a pretty good clay season. She's 8-2 on the year. She's played some tough competition. I'm going to take Putintseva to come out victorious against Ekaterina. Emma Navarro and Elise Cornet. Elise Cornet, she got her wild card. She's going to be in the French Open. That's good. It's winding down for Elise, though. I mean, it's not as bad as Venus Williams, but she's not winning matches, guys. And there's just no way I could back her here against Emma Navarro. I can't do it because as much as I like Elise Cornet, she's 8-11 on the season, guys. She's not winning matches while Emma's 29-11. Emma's like 8-4 on clay. Emma Navarro, she's won 6 of her last 10 matches. Elise has come on early. She's come on strong as of late, winning 5 of her last 10. But if we go back to her last 20, it's downright atrocious. Just bad. Downright bad. And there's no way I'm going to take her to beat Emma Navarro. I just think I'm not going to say Elise can't beat Emma Navarro. She's going to get balls back, but this is what's happening with Elise Cornet. She plays her best tennis in the first set, and she's gassing out. She's downright out of gas, tired. And I can't back someone like that that's going to gas out, because in tennis, if you gas out, your opponent's going to see it. They're going to step their game up. They're going to raise their level and just blast you off the court where you can't even defend and return. So I like Emma Navarro to win. And Sloane Stevens taking on Magdalena Frech. Now, Magdalena, look, happy last year. I've been one of her biggest supporters. You know, now the Polish fans, this is what they do. Now they're starting to hop on the bandwagon of Magdalena when I've covered her matches for so long and 5 views. So now, like, come on, guys. Now they're starting to notice because she's winning matches. But she's starting to hit a slump where I feel that, you know, you kind of reach your high on tour and, you know, you kind of resort to, I don't know, you get too comfortable, just put it that way. I'm not saying that's what's happening to her, but she's 54 in the rankings, guys. You know, she even hit 42, but I remember a time where she was in the 100s and she was trying to get in. I kept covering her videos and her matches and just hoping and praying she can get in. And I've told you all the time, no one has more frequent flyer miles than Magdalena. She'll play a tennis tournament anywhere. And, you know, the word that I heard was she was playing too much. She was exhausted. And I said this is what I said. I said to her people, listen, so you gotta shut it down. You're not gonna get better. And this, I told her people that you're not going to get better playing ITF matches all year, all 12 months. You're not. The only way you're going to get, because what's going to happen is you're playing people that are going to step their game up to beat you to get a name. For one, they have nothing to lose. They're going to play a lot more aggressive, right? You're playing those kind of people, for one. For two, your body's banged up. If you're playing tennis 12 months a year, you're sore and you're banged up. There's no way you're not. Okay, so you can't heal and recover. Number three, you can't practice. You get better by practicing or playing against people that are better than you. You don't get better by playing people that are lesser than you. That's not going to make you better, okay? If you want to get better, you have to play against players that hit faster than you, stronger than you, that have better variety than you. That's how you improve your game. Not trying to bully people that you're better than. You're not. What are you going to improve on? What are you going to get better on? Okay? Or you get better by practicing with people, like bringing some guys to hit with, bringing some stronger people to hit with. Focus on a game plan. I don't think you get better by playing ITF. And we see a lot of the pros that do that, all they end up is banged up. And when they do play main tour matches, they lose quickly because they're playing people that are playing a tougher schedule. You have to play a tough schedule to get better in tennis. And I feel that now that she's reached that peak, and hopefully it's not a peak. Hopefully she improves and breaks the top 30 one day. I just feel that, and I see it in her game. She's got to go back to the drawing board and she's got to work on more things. There's no way I can take Frech over Sloane. I don't think Frech has the ability or the power to pressure Sloane into being uncomfortable. I think Sloane is one of the best counterpunchers. She's patient now. She's a good shot maker. Sloane doesn't really beat herself. If you're gonna beat Sloane, you're gonna have to hit winners. You're gonna have to do something to get her uncomfortable. I don't think Magdalena can do anything that's gonna make Sloane uncomfortable. If she's to win this match, she's gonna have to speed Sloane up. She's gonna have to mix in short balls. Now, the last time she played, the announcers were a little bit wrong. They said because Magdalena was hitting the short ball, the announcer said she doesn't. They were actually talking bad, which is why I don't think you guys, some of these guys, I can tell they don't really watch tennis. All these announcers do is they just criticize the players all match. If they're missing shots or having a bad match, that's all they're doing is critiquing their game. They said that Magdalena doesn't have a good short ball. And I've watched her play. I think her short ball is there. So if she wants success against Sloane, if she wants success playing Sloane, she's going to have to pull out the short ball. She's going to have to make Sloane work. But the problem is I don't think she has the power to do that consistently. And I mean, I think Sloane is just going to hit her with a deep ball. So I'll take Sloane to win this match. And it's all the picks. It's all the picks, guys. So enjoy Tennis a Minute. Like the video. Show some love.